Kansas City finally got an outside X receiver. I'm happy for Nuke. For ring chasing, all good, man. I'm so happy for him, bro.
This is the first time I think the Chiefs in the Patrick Mahomes era have had a legitimate X receiver. I've got him in these 3 games at an 80% success rate on slant routes, which is pretty good. Let's talk about the bad parts here. Yeah, he's not separating at all downfield at this point.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
Maybe the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Matt, can we start with this Hopkins trade to Kansas City? I mean, I honestly could not be happier for everyone involved other than Tennessee, but who cares about Tennessee? I'm happy for Nuke, for ring chasing, all good, man. I'm so happy for him, bro. And I'm happy for the league, and I'm happy for myself because Kansas City finally got an outside X receiver.
I was going to say, yeah, as 2 big-time X receiver bros, me and you, I mean, this has got to be this is the first time I think the Chiefs in the Patrick Mahomes era have had a legitimate X receiver. I mean, Sammy Watkins maybe.
Oh, what do you consider Tyreek Hill?
Well, he moved around so much. He never
he was a
exclusively
50-50 guy.
played it. Yeah, he was like a 50-50 guy, and they usually played him off ball anyways. So I definitely would not consider him an X receiver. So yeah, I was like, this is really the first time. I mean, just to put it into perspective, their X receiver this year is Justin Watson. According to Fantasy Points data, he has run the 3rd most routes on the team, 114. James, he's run 114 routes. Like I said, 3rd most on the team. How many targets do you think Justin Watson has this year?
I am going to say 10.
8. You overshot it by.
Oh, my God.
8. He's been targeted on 7% of his routes.
My God.
I mean, we joke.
Disgusting.
We joke about the
That's
sacrificial X receiver here around the reception perception
do.
parts. Justin Watson legitimately is the sacrificial X receiver.
Yes.
Right. Every now and again, take a shot, but for the most part, you're just clearing space out. So, yeah, I think that Hopkins, I was able, because this trade happened so early.
Right.
I got 3 games in the bank charting on DeAndre Hopkins this morning.
Beautiful.
Can't say I was in a rush to do a lot of work on the Titans offense before this. So I have some thoughts. I've some thoughts about the Titans we can loop real quick into the end of this. But
sure. In
terms of Hopkins, these 3 games I've got for him, which was Bills, Packers, Colts. So not in this order, but week 4, week 6, and week 7. I wanted to give it a little space into the season because he was coming off a knee injury that I think, I've seen some people speculate that it might dog him for a while. It might still be dogging him, but I wanted to at least get deeper into the season when he's at least playing a little bit more here. 81.9% snaps on the line of scrimmage. He's only been on the slot or the backfield on just over 14% of his sample snaps in these 3 games. So he is still playing X receiver. I kind of like a few of the things they did with him from an X receiver standpoint, where he's not, if you just think about formations and the whole length of the field, he would be the farthest outside on the line of scrimmage receiver. He'd be the one receiver in a 1x3 or 1x3 set usually. But he's pretty close to the line of scrimmage. So a little bit more of a condensed formation. And the reason I like this is because he could use that space on that side of the field to create leverage, especially on slant routes in particular. I've got him in these 3 games at an 80% success rate on slant routes, which is pretty good.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. And I just think that's going to be so critical for this offense because they don't really have somebody that can just get a first down, that can, it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5. Pat Mahomes needs somebody he can rely on. Okay, we've got Hopkins as that condensed X receiver on the backside. We're dropping back and Hopkins is in the frame and we're hitting him on those plays because he's still, he's not explosive off the line of scrimmage at this point, DeAndre Hopkins, but he is pretty crafty. So he can sell that outside, vertical route and then bring it back to the inside pretty quickly for that successful slant route. Overall, sub 60% success rate versus man. I mean, let's talk about the bad parts here. Yeah, he's not separating at all downfield at this point.
Interesting.
And I know Hopkins has always been billed as he's not a separation player. I don't know how other places chart open or whatever. I'm not looking for gobs of separation here. You're either open or you're not. I've always thought that Hopkins was a good separation player and a good route runner and a guy that got himself open for quarterbacks. That 59%, 59.3% that he's at in these 3 games, that's like, forget like far cry from his peak. That's a far cry from even his like final year in Arizona. So I think, but he's still pretty good against zone, and he's still like a little bit above average, getting off the line of scrimmage against press coverage, mostly on those shorter routes. So yeah, anything down the field, 9 route, post routes, forget it. And they had him running a lot of 9 routes in Tennessee too. 22% of his charter routes were 9 routes, sub 50% success rate there. So not a good result, but curl routes, slant routes, some of those routes closer to the line of scrimmage, he can run those pretty well. Out routes, he's still got some pretty good timing on those as well. So what I would say is, if like you wanted kind of the tagline, the summary of where is DeAndre Hopkins at this point, I don't think he is a star player anymore. I think that's pretty obvious. It would be kind of hard to expect him to be. The guy was drafted in 2013. It'd be kind of hard to say he's a star player at this point, but he is certainly a useful player and gives the Chiefs a dimension that they did not have, both as an individual ex-receiver and someone that can help them unlock the role catering that I think needs to happen for all of the other main pass catchers on the roster.
The thing with Nuke Hopkins, and one of the reasons why he's one of my favorite players of all time, is that regardless of his quarterback situation, it really did seem like he's going out there and he's looking to win. Like, he wants to win his individual reps pretty much every single time I watch this guy play, right? That being said, it's a... In Tennessee, Matt, it was not great. The vibes in Tennessee were not good. They were not good at all. What were you kind of sort of seeing from, a determination level there from Nuke Hopkins?
I was pretty impressed with what he did in the run game. I thought he blocked really well, gave a lot of effort there. I think if this was a guy that was packing it in, and I've met Nuke Hopkins a couple times. I've always really liked talking with him. He's a super thoughtful guy, both in terms of how he views the world, some of the causes that he's passionate about, and also just the game of football. He is an intelligent wide receiver, right. And I think that still shows up in the reception perception. Like I said, that about just a little under 80% success rate versus zone in these 3 games. Just a very intelligent guy, knows where to sit, especially on some, even like dig routes and things like that over the middle of the field. Super, like I said, just heady wide receiver overall. I don't know that I'd see any like lack of effort for him. And he talked a lot. Like, I'm pretty content with my life, like in Tennessee and being in Nashville. Like, do I think he enjoyed playing with the quarterbacks in Tennessee? No, I would probably not venture that,
Right.
I don't think that was great, but I think he did like enjoy Nashville and enjoy kind of the community there. So I don't really know that I saw any like lack of effort from him, but I'm sure he'll be more dialed in with whatever's going on in Kansas City than in Tennessee.
That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I think there's 2 factors here at play. One, again, not by his own making, but yeah, he's ring chasing here, which is great. He's 32 years old, and he absolutely deserves a chance to play in the postseason again, and make some noise, man. Like, listen, the NFL is better when Nuke Hopkins is in the postseason. Period. Yeah. The NFL is better when Kansas City is good. Period. When Mahomes is playing well and he's lighting it up, the league is better. I don't care where again, it doesn't matter where you stand on the whole Mahomes thing. You could hate Mahomes, but now he's a better villain, right? No. Oh, he needs help. He's a better villain now, right? Or if you like Mahomes and you think he's a great quarterback, arguably the best to ever do it, cool. Now we've given him weapons to be able to, exploit some of his talents, which is awesome. What I really love is that he's not going into a situation like Devontae's going into New York, right? Where again, it's an old static offense. No, he's got a legitimate talent elevator in Patrick Mahomes, who will bring out the best in him. And he's also got a head coach in Andy Reid, who you got to be thinking his brain is probably working overtime right now, trying to draw up some plays, trying to figure out ways to go get Nuke Hopkins involved here in week number 8. The guy's going to have about 48 hours to go look at one of the most complex playbooks in the NFL, but it's all good. You talk about him being an intelligent player. Again, that's something that fits in perfectly with this Kansas City culture. I love it. I love all that. I think it's going to be great. And to me, what I've seen online too is that people are worried that this guy's, he's prepackaged lettuce. He's triple washed, right? I don't see that, man. And again, I'm also seeing a guy that I think is going to come out and just play gangbusters because, man, it's just going to be new. It's going to be exciting. I mean, he's going to be in a lot of island games. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. So I'm really looking forward to it.